Well, what was supposed to be a bipartisan effort on prison reform is turning into a 2020 platform. Democrats potentially pulling support of the legislation that hits close to home for our next guest. Gianno Caldwell says, these aren't just statistics to me. They're my family members, friends, and the people I grew up with in Chicago. The Fox News political analyst is now lobbying in Washington to pass the First Step Act, and he joins me now to talk more about it. Gianno, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me on this very important topic.
Yeah, so we said, this was supposed to be a bipartisan effort. Now it's turning into this 2020 campaign, effort. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, are Democrats actually holding it up so they can use it as a campaign, topic?
Well, we're talking about some of those presidential contenders. We talk about Eric Holder, who's been one who was opposed to it, among a number of other prominent Democrats who have said that they didn't support it. And unfortunately, those who have said it, I believe they said it because they didn't want to see President Trump or either Republicans potentially get a perceived win, which I think is very disingenuous considering the fact that in 2014, there were 6.8 million people a part of the corrections population. That's including federal prisons, state prisons, local jails, as well as those that were on parole. Of those 6.8 million people, 32%, or rather 34%, or 2.3 million of those individuals are African Americans. So for us in this community, the African American community, this is the most prominent issue that our community cares about. So with that being the case, we can't play politics, whether you be a Democrat or Republican, with this issue.
So you take this personally. Why do you think Democrats, some of whom you just mentioned, are apparently not taking it personally and taking it politically instead?
Well, so at this particular time, beyond those folks that had said that they didn't know if they were going to support it or perhaps they weren't going to support it, now we're at a stage in a process where we got Republicans in the U.S. Senate, Chuck Grassley, who's been championing this issue, Jared Kushner over in the White House, who's been championing this issue. This is now in the Senate. So when I was in Washington, D.C. last week talking to members like Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Tim Scott, we were over at Marco Rubio's office, and a number of other members saying, hey, we need to push this bill to the floor because this is where we are right now. We got a number of members of the majority of the Senate caucus that support this issue. We got a lot of Democrats in the Senate, at least, that support this issue. And if it goes to the floor, it will pass. That's why I started a petition on change.org to get people out to tell Mitch McConnell's office, we want to see this move to the floor. And I think this is one of the most important issues of my lifetime. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. When you think about what the bill actually does, it provides credits, good credits, good service credits for those individuals who've been exemplary prisoners. So right now, if this bill were to pass and be signed into law, you got 4,000 people retroactively would be going home today. In addition, it provides judges with discretion, greater discretion when it comes to sentencing. If you know anything about what's happened in our criminal justice system, you know that the '94 crime bill pushed by both Clintons was very draconian and provided what I call to be a mass incarceration. This would give judges greater discretion, where someone like Senator Mike Lee has said that there was an individual who attempted to sell 3 dime bags of marijuana. He got 55 years in prison. This would change that landscape. So I'm encouraging everybody to go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Encourage everybody to go to your website, your change.org page, and we just need to get it to the floor.
Change.org, sign a petition. We want to get it to the floor. Follow me on Instagram at Gianno Caldwell. I have the link to that petition in my bio there. We need to see this systemic change. We need it right now, and a lot of people are counting on this. So I'm encouraging everybody to continue to follow me for updates on that, because I'm going to continue to lobby this issue throughout session.
Gianno, I know you've been working around the clock to get it done, and that's been a lot of hard work, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Gianno.